Is it finally happening? Here we go, lads and lasses. Newcastle United have announced a official statement that they have bought a significant portion of the Leazes Terrace buildings right opposite the East Stand. And when I say a significant portion of the historic Grade 1 listed Leazes Terrace for an estimated 20 to 25 million, they've bought the northern, southern and western elevations, basically everything that stares directly back at the Leazes Stand. Is the expansion of the cathedral finally happening, or is this a massive strategic double bluff? That's something that we're going to have to talk about in this video. Now, looking at the background on this, is for decades expanding the East Stand was deemed impossible because of the Leazes Terrace, the historic protected student accommodations right behind it. Residents had legal right to light laws, claims that blocked any massive shadows from a bigger stand, of course. And now, by buying the vast majority of the building, the club now effectively controls the conversation, while they can't just knock down the Grade 1 listed structure. Owning it does give us massive leverage to bypass or mitigate those ancient, of course, light restrictions. The word from the inside, of course, is optionality. The leak in true to form, of course, coming from Chris Raff, and club sources are already playing this down, telling us fans that this doesn't mean a final decision has been made on the stadium. They're just calling it strategic optionality. So you don't, in my thoughts, you don't drop 20 to 25 million on a block of student flats just to be optional. This is, PIF flexing their financial muscle to remove a historic bottleneck. Whether we stay or go, we now own the most valuable land surrounding St James's Park. And the good thing about that is the rent figures that comes off of them buildings now goes into Newcastle United's coffers as well, and that means that we are now getting money from them buildings, which will go into our coffers and will go towards, of course, helping us fund players on the pitch, sort of like we're seeing with Chelsea do with their hotel. That is what, is going to happen now with them Leazes Terrace building. Of course, it's now going to be the rent coming from that going into the coffers of Newcastle United, and that could be a very good road to possibly go down. We could see, maybe more of these kinds of buys around the properties around St James's Park. We could maybe see, PIF and the Rubens doing a lot more of these buys to basically inflate the revenue and allow it to get closer to them, cartel teams at the top. And as we've seen David Hopkinson recently admit that a new ground could cost upwards of $1 billion, while a reimagined St James's would be in, probably the hundreds of millions, which would push, the capacity to 60,000, 65,000. I think we could possibly get 70,000, 75,000 maybe with this news of buying Leazes Terrace if we do decide to stay at St James's Park. But I still think that, the owners are adamant on that they want to build a brand new stadium on Leazes Park. As looking through the article what Chris Raff's put out, it looks as though that is what we are pointing towards. They're still talking about wanting to build that new stadium on Leazes Park, but this is huge news. Buying up the Leazes Terrace buildings, that has been a massive blockade for expanding St James's Park for a very long time. But we'll have to wait and see what more happens on this, what more outcome there is on this. But the Rubens are specialists in this area. Look at the property expertise behind the scenes. The Reuben brothers know exactly what they are doing when it comes to real estate in the Newcastle area. And looking at it, if we expand St James's Park, it's a win. If we only decide to build a 75,000 seater stadium, just in Leazes Park, and restoring Leazes Terrace to maybe premium luxury housing fronting the park will, you know, make the owners a massive profit anyway. It's a no loss gamble at the end of the day, you know. So looking at it, it's a really good one. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Of course, I'm going to put a poll down in the comments below, like I did on the Leazes of the North video, and I am going to, of course, do it in the same style, the A and B. So A, expand St James's Park, the buyout changes everything, keep the history and expand the East Stand. Or B, new build anyway, still push for a 70,000 Leazes of the North at Leazes Park. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. But I mean, massive news this, and officially confirmed by Newcastle United as well. And you will have seen some of the pictures throughout as well of course, the area that has been bought by Newcastle United. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. However, lads.